You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Here is the WHSM Muskie Country 101 Community Calendar and Events. Beginning Tuesday, November 4th, the Northwoods Community Food Shelf will be opening this morning at 10 o'clock until 3 this afternoon. Tuesday, November 4th at the Spider Lake Church Youth Center here in Hayward. It's located at 11255 Highway 77, just north of the Hayward Hospital on the left-hand side. Lots of food, produce, meat, canned goods, and some fresh produce. Everyone is encouraged to get food from this program regardless of your financial situation. Again, Northwoods Community Food Shelf starting at 10 a.m. this morning. Powerful tools for caregiver classes are being offered today at 3:30 at the Hayward Wesleyan Church on Nyman Avenue. This is put together by Sawyer County and LCO. Classes are here to help caregivers take better care of themselves while caring for a friend or relative. Whether you're providing care for a spouse, partner, parent, friend at home, or in a care facility, whether it's down the blocks or miles away, your role is important. This role is for you as family caregivers. Attendees will receive handouts and the Caregiver Help Book, which follows the curriculum and provides additional tools to address specific caregiver issues. To register, please call 866-663-3607 or 715-558-7938. And again, you can register for this course, Powerful Tools for Caregivers, starting at 3:30 until 5:30, located at the Hayward Wesleyan Church at 10655 Nyman Avenue. Again, this is put together by Sawyer County and LCO. The LCO Ojibwe Food and Medicine class is starting this evening at 4 o'clock. This will be held at the LCO Ojibwe University, located at 13466 West Trepanier Road in Hayward. Food as medicine includes lots of different foods: mushrooms, cattails, burdocks, chenga, turkey tail, pines, and all sorts of edibles that you can find around us here in the Northwoods. Again, the LCO Ojibwe University Food and Medicine class this evening from 4 until 6 at the LCO Ojibwe University. For more information, you can call 715-634-4790. A Girl Scout meeting is this evening starting at 5 o'clock at the Solon Springs Cafeteria. Again, Girl Scout meeting put on today at 5 o'clock in the cafeteria at the Solon Springs Schools. Happening at the Sherman and Ruth Weiss Community Library this afternoon, 5:30 until 6:30, they have craft and conversation. They have all sorts of different supplies available. Registration is required for this event and is limited to 15 teen and adult participants. To register for this craft and conversation time, call the library at 715-634-2161 or just stop by the front desk of the library. If it's full, you can still participate if you'd like and just join in the conversation. Again, craft and conversation at the Hayward Library at 5:30 this evening. At 6:30 this evening, there'll be Science at the Sawmill. This will be stories and songs with Laughing Fox. Sponsored by the Cable Natural History Museum, Michael Laughing Fox is a gifted Native American story writer, poet, and member of the Red Cliff Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa. He will engage and delight with traditional flute music and storytelling that weaves indigenous teachings into modern-day context. Join us from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Sawmill Saloon. Arrive early to enjoy dinner and drinks. Pre-registration is available, and it is only $10 for members and $15 for non-members. Information and registration can be held at cablemuseum.org/events. Again, Science at the Sawmill, Stories and Songs with Laughing Fox. There's some free tech support for your devices starting at 10 a.m. on Wednesday at the Forest Lodge Library, located at 13450 County Highway M in Cable. Do you have a device you need help with or trouble figuring out your cell phone? Eric can help you with that and more. Bring in your device and or your questions related to tech issues anytime at the library from 10 a.m. until 3. Everything is free. Drop-ins are welcome. You can also schedule an appointment with him if you'd like. That number is 715-204-7501. Again, they also have some laptops and iPads for you to check out with him as well. Again, tech support is happening at the Forest Lodge Library, 10 a.m. until 3 on Wednesday. That is located at 13450 County Highway M in Cable. Also Wednesday, 10 o'clock, the Northwoods Community Food Shelf is open once again. This is located at the Spider Lake Church Youth Center in Hayward. Again, they have lots of meats and produce available, and everyone's encouraged to get food from this program, regardless of your financial situation. Again, the Northwoods Community Food Shelf starting at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. Power pump classes from 4 till 5 on Wednesday the 5th at the Cable Community Center located at 13660 County Highway M. This is a dumbbell class with all different fitness levels, low weight loads, and high repetitions. Power pump 4 o'clock until 5 Wednesday the November 5th at the Cable Community Center in Cable. If you have an announcement that you'd like to have read here on WHSM's community calendar, by all means, send it to community@whsm.com. Again, that email address is community@whsm.com. And make sure you include all the details about your event or activity. And if you have a flyer, you can attach that to the email as well. Thank you.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Good morning, Hayward. Tuesday morning. Joel Gray. We are Greepling it here on a Tuesday morning. Gray, good morning to you.
Good cold morning.
Yeah, a little chilly out there, but we're good. We've got some serious coolness coming probably Sunday, Monday. Temperatures may not get much above 30, they're telling us. Well, we had some football last night. The Cowboys decided to check out of the 2025-26 NFL season last night.
Yeah, they are. Wow. If the Cardinals are scoring on them like that, that hurts. I mean, and yeah, there were guys having good nights, like Marvin Harrison Jr. was. I mean, I saw one particular touchdown that he absolutely put his man in a dishwasher. I mean, it was awful. He had the CB on roller skates. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful work. But that said, that's been a trend for the Cowboys. And you and I said yesterday on a different show, if the Cowboys win, they put themselves in a really interesting position here, but they couldn't. And if you can't get the win over the Cardinals, who are efficient but lack firepower, then yeah, I don't pick them as a contender unless they make a late surge and maybe other teams leave the opening for the wild card. It just isn't there.
Yeah, the defense just isn't there. When you got to score 40 points to win, you're usually in trouble. The Packers' big loss yesterday, of course. Tucker Kraft announced he's out with the whatever it was, MCL, ACL, whatever. He's done for the year, yep. ACL sprain. How big of a loss is that for the Packers?
Huge, and I think it's only I don't think we actually have much of a glimpse at how big it is because he was really just still heating up. You know, he was kind of in a diesel engine mode, and yes, we're halfway through the season, but he's built momentum throughout that, and even if he just maintained what he did, if he had a symmetrical season, it would have been among the best tight end seasons we've had since the year 2000. You know, we haven't had tight end play like that. Even Jermichael Finley didn't quite get up to where Tucker Kraft has been glimpsing. And that's kind of what a lot of people remember. We had a lot of hope in Finley before that terrible neck injury. And we haven't had a tight end like that since then. There was one year, I think it was 2018, we had a tight end, Robert Tonyan, led the league in touchdowns, but that was more because he was like Jason Witten. It's like he kind of escapes notice. He's not running routes and winning contested catches. He just manages to get open because he's smart. And then he tore his ACL and his career was basically over.
When you talk about the anatomy of the great tight ends, you talk about the Travis Kelce's, the Jason Wittens, me being a fan of the purple, I think of Kyle Rudolph. I think of the Steve Jordans, smaller versions back then. But it's that very rare anatomical man who is large, who is not fast, but faster than most men that are that large, and strong, can block, can get off the line, can make the catch, can run over people, and might even outrun you down the field. It's a rare physical attributes that all come together, and that's why that special tight end like Kraft, Travis Kelce, why they're so important to a team. Yeah,
Jimmy Graham was the archetype for quite a while, the guy who's just faster than he should be for his size, and he's not fast necessarily. Tucker isn't. But when I tell you that he's 6'5" and he weighs 260 and you measure that again, it's like, okay, he's fast for that. Whoa. So all of a sudden you've got quick enough to get past the linebacker, big enough to outmatch any defensive back. And then all you need is the smart enough. Can he play the tight end position, which is actually 2-1. If you're what they call a Y tight end, which means a legitimate pass catching threat. If somebody's calling you a Y tight end, that literally means you're playing the role of one of your two starting receivers as a tight end, and Tucker Kraft was that. We haven't had a Y tight end like ever. Got
to go back to Chimera. I mean, he was pretty good.
Mark Chimera probably would have been the last one that we had for a long length of time, and then we were, like Bubba Franks was there, and he was a big pick, and he was a big guy, and he was talented, but he was a little bit more of a blocker, I think, than a pass catching threat a lot of the time. And honestly, he wasn't as much of either of those things as he could be when we took him that high. But that said, probably Chimera was the last guy who consistently performed at a level. And then Finley was kind of the spiritual successor who blew up his neck. Actually, one of the Browns did that, I believe. And here we were. We had him. So we have to reform the game plan again. We have to figure out what's going on with the offensive line. That was the major problem in Carolina, by the way. I was really ragging on those guys going into the half for their penalties, but it was Derek Brown. It was the defensive lineman for the Panthers. He was blowing up everybody we put in front of him. So we've got to solidify the line. It's not as good as we thought. And now I'm just in a tangent about the problems from the game. Ugh.
When you watch some of those holding penalties, you realize that when they say the phrase, you could call holding on every play.
Yeah.
It is true to an extent because usually those offensive linemen, their hands are inside and they're grabbing something in there. And it's that moment that defensive player decides, well, I'm going to go this way or this way, and you don't let go quick enough.
Right.
And then the referee sees the extension of the jersey that you have a hold of rather firmly right around the armpit area, and they talk about this quite a bit. Some of the NFL analysts, they say, the play was designed to go this way, and the offensive lineman was blocking for this way, and then the play ended up going that way instead. So the lineman is blocking in a certain direction thinking we're good, and then all of a sudden the defensive player goes the other way, unplanned, and now you got a hold of him and you didn't think there was any reason why he should go that other way, and then the holding happens.
Yeah, and it's not by accident either. It's they're putting their best pass rushers against the guys who they know have a tendency to grab a handful of jersey. It's like a wide receiver going down the field. I may not catch this ball, but I can address it in a way that gets me a penalty. Defensive linemen can do the same thing. And that whole game, by the way, was won and lost on the line, both sides of the ball. It was Derek Brown on the Panthers defense blowing up the Packers offensive line, and it was the Panthers left tackle, whose name I'm going to mispronounce, Ikem Ekwonu, I believe. Yeah, their offensive enough. Left tackle, he stopped Micah Parsons from registering a single pressure for the first time in his career.
Yeah,
He's never gone a whole game with no pressures. But if you watch the tape, Micah was a non-factor. I thought, hey, maybe the stats just didn't show up, but we'll be able to look back and see that, someone else got pressures based off. No, Micah wasn't there. So the Panthers came in, they game played hard, they earned a win, and they let us sit back and they let the Packers beat themselves. This was one of the best games by the Panthers this year.
Yeah, and it's concerning. So that's what happens when Micah Parsons gets neutralized.
We lose, yeah.
Carolina has not been a great team. So
good enough, though.
Well, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the Purple coming up a little bit later this hour, and a little bit about the Bears, too, who had a wild game on Sunday. It is a Greeple Tuesday where we talk Green Bay and we talk Purple. And I remind you, U.S. Bank Stadium is about an hour and a half closer than Lambeau Field to Hayward. Just a reminder. Have a good Tuesday, everybody.
Nobody cares.
7:20. Good morning, Hayward, Joel, and Gray. We're back in here. It's a Greeple Tuesday, and that means we talk a little football. We designate our Hayward chats here with, we dedicate it to the National Football League. We talked a lot about the Packers and Tucker Kraft being out and things that went wrong with that Carolina game. On Sunday, the Bears had just a wild game against Cincinnati. Cincinnati can't stop anybody. I think the realization that, okay, Cincinnati doesn't have Joe Burrow, but we don't have good enough defense to make a dent or beat a Kansas City in the playoffs. But the Bears are better than they were last year. I guess that's a positive for the Bears. They still got a lot of issues, but they are better.
Yeah, definitely. There's still some weird things happening, though. Like in that absolute barn burner, it was, 46-49 or something like that in the final score?
Something like that.
Rome Odunze, ostensibly one of the leading receivers on the Chicago Bears. He was healthy for that game. 0 catches on 3 targets. In a game with 49 points? Yeah. Does it matter? No. Look no further than the rest of the NFC North for teams that spread the ball out like that. But still, I'm asking questions like how that happens. And also, would it have been an easier win if that's not, if Odunze was more involved, maybe that would have greased the wheels a little bit. That said, clearly some encouraging things coming from Chicago in general and head coach Ben Johnson. Man. It still feels like there's one more thing to do, Is it
Yeah.
just development? Do we just need to get used to the system? Maybe it's that we'll see the Bears in year 2 really make a leap. But part of me feels almost a little impatient. They're 5-3 right now. That's maybe even a little better than we thought they'd be at the midpoint of the season. And who do we have coming up for them? They are playing
The Giants coming in.
Giants, Vikings, Steelers, Eagles. Ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't get it. And then they go to Green Bay, and then you got Cleveland, which is a good defense. It's we'll find out. We'll get a good idea after the next 4 or 5 weeks if the Bears are ready to step into the playoffs or if they're just better but not quite that good.
Yeah,
yet.
Vikings are pretty solid, at least based on their last game performance. If the Vikings have a bad game, then the Bears have it locked down. I'll say that. Same with the Steelers, but the Steelers are kind of hot right now. Philly's the champs. The Packers depends on the day. And then, like you said, the Browns have a real defense, and then they're right back against Green Bay again. So 14, 15, 16, Green Bay, Cleveland, Green Bay. That's going to be an interesting stretch for Bears fans. The month of December is going to be really good or really bad.
It is. Talk a little bit about the purple side because the Vikings pulled maybe the upset of the year going on to Detroit and beating the Lions. They were about 8 or 9 point underdogs in that game. Everybody thought the Lions, we're going to win this game. The Vikings got some defensive players back, and the Vikings totally dominated the interior of the line defensively against the Lions offense. If you didn't watch the game, I did. Jared Goff could not step into throws most of the day. The Vikings blitzed on 60% of the plays because they knew they could smoke them in the middle, and they just took between the hash marks. Vikings just came with the blitz and just pushed the line back, and Jared Goff had nowhere to go. So it's bad news for the rest of the NFC North that the Vikings played that way, because if the defense stays healthy, the Vikings can be what they were last year. But just the drop off for the Vikings from the starter to the backup is about as far as you can get, I think, right now in the NFL. It's not even the same team.
Yeah, that's true, but also there's that McCarthy hasn't put together 2 games at that level, I'm a best of 3 kind of guy, and he's got 1 good game and 1 good quarter of football in the 3 that we've seen him play. So he's still, I mean, like, yes, he's hot now and he seems to be improving, but I do worry because in the last 3 games we've seen, he's played less than half of it at a high level. So I have to remove the homer bias and say there's still a lot of room for McCarthy to drop back off. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think he's going to build on this confidence because of good coaching, and he's got a good defense with another good coordinator there. So, like, I think he's in the right situation. But we've seen guys tank with more resources available to them. Johnny Manziel.
That's true.
Well, and he's a special case, and so are the Browns. But you get the point. You know, who is it? It's Captain Picard. He said you can make no mistakes and still lose. That's not failure. That's life. So, like, you just got to watch out because sometimes you just get it still lands on your head. You know what I mean? You're walking along with a smile on and that bird flies over you and there you go.
Yeah. Well, what was encouraging for Viking fans on Sunday is that J.J. McCarthy didn't do what a lot of rookies typically will do in their first couple of games, and that is just take off running. Just don't even give some of the routes a chance to develop. He missed some throws, but he did do that, and he strategically ran the ball a couple of different times, one for a touchdown. So, I mean, I always say he looks like a quarterback. He plays like a good quarterback at times. So usually when you just see things and you're like, oh, that looks good, he sensed the pressure from behind him coming.
Mm-hmm.
Just little things like that. More often than not, that translates. That rookie quarterback that comes in the first 2 games, and all he does is drop back, and then 1 second later, he's just running for life. That's not a good sign, to me anyway.
I think of Cam Ward over in Tennessee, and that may or may not be his fault as much as the offensive line that he's playing behind. But, yeah, there's a lot of, all right, can this guy play the game alone? You know, it's like that. If you're drafting your rookie quarterback and starting him that year, I'm already worried because of the Packer method that we've seen pretty successful these last 30 years.
Well, the NFC North is what we thought it would be. Well, I guess we thought it would be. I didn't think there would be 3 teams from this division making the playoffs because of who we were playing in the AFC. The Baltimores and the Pittsburghs, and those are tougher teams. But we may have 3 playoff teams again from the Norris division this year.
Totally possible. I'd love to see it. It would be odd given, like you said, how hot the NFC is in general, but well within the realm of possibility. The wrong people take 2 losses and wham, bam, NFC North, here I am.
All those divisional games at the end of the year will play big, of course. And the Packers are 1-0 in the division. The Vikings are 2-0. The Bears 0-2. The Lions are 1-2. Lions have played 3 divisional games already. That could be big down the stretch, although we know one thing for sure, unless another tie happens, the Packers aren't tying for any divisions.
No, don't say that. We're already 5-2-1, and like that feels a lot better than 5-3, but 5-2-2? No.
No, have a good Tuesday.
You too, Joel. Thanks.
Thanks you for listening, folks. Greeple Tuesday, we talk football here on the Buzz of the North. Pat Kreitlow making his way back in next year. Have a good Tuesday, everybody. It's 7:59.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
You're listening to Mornings with Pat Kreitlow on WBZH. I'm Mark Lundeen, and here's what's happening in Hayward today. With me in the studio today is Shawn Connelly of the Birkey Foundation. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Hey, pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so to some people, they're thinking, we're talking about Birkey already. It's like there's no snow on the ground when we're talking about this right now. There could be in a couple weeks, but when we're hoping by the end of the month. But let's talk about a recap maybe of the past summer events and some of the fall events and what's been happening.
Yeah, because traditionally, everybody thinks of the Birkey. They think of the amazing race that brings thousands of people every February. But the Birkey is a year-round thing now. We're doing trail races and running. We're doing biking races and enduro. Like at the end of September, we had our Birkey Trail Run. Just shy of 1,000 runners coming out here doing marathon, half marathon, running through the beautiful fall colors.
Yeah.
So that was really great at the end of September. Then on October 11th, we had our Mount Telemark Enduro. It's a downhill biking race, which if you've never been to one, look at the calendar for next year, next October. Come on out and check it out. It's so cool to see people like shredding these trails, riding these gravity trails. So the Enduro was super fun. But yeah, now we're officially in kind of our transition season where we're now starting to look at beautiful fall is coming to an end with all the trees, really all the leaves coming off the trees. And now we're looking for that snow to start to fly. So looking at our coming up, our Turkey Birkey is coming up at the end of November, right around Thanksgiving.
Sure.
So it's a few-day ski festival where you can come out and get your trail pass. We'll be turning on the snow machines. As soon as we have that cold, we'll turn on that snow machines. We actually got a chance to test our snow machines the first week of October. And that first frost we had, we actually... we got up early, we turned them on. We're like, well, let's just make sure everything's in good working order. So we put our system through a little bit of a training, and they worked perfectly. So we already had the snow machines on once, and once we start getting more consistent frosts and freezes, then we'll turn them on every night, and we'll really start making that base of snow. So by the time Turkey Birkey gets here, whatever Mother Nature gives us, we'll be able to work with. So as long as we got some cold, we'll have some for Turkey Birkey.
Do you have more blowers? Did you add to your inventory of blowers? Or
so we have, so it's a combination of the blowers that we have out there. And we also have these taller stick ones now, which are really cool because they go out onto the trail and really push it down some more narrow corridors. So we're able to get some more in there. So so it's the whole snowmaking infrastructure is constantly evolving. But yeah, we're ready, and we'll be turning them all on and getting hopefully at least 2K ready by Thanksgiving. But again, we'll see what Mother Nature can provide us with the cold. But Turkey Birkey weekend in general is going to be great, and we're actually more than just the skiing and getting out on early snow and buying your trail pass. It's also a great weekend for you're going to have a presentation and a book signing with Jerry Pauling. Yep. Okay. He's the author of American Birkebeiner, the nation's greatest ski marathon. There's been a lot written about Telemark and Tony Wise, but this is the first 50-year all-encompassing history. And Jerry worked on this book for, almost 4 years. And now copies are available for purchase in the Birkey store, and he'll be doing a book signing and presentation at Turkey Birkey this year. So that Saturday, come on out for some early skiing, get yourself something to eat over there at Backroads, check things out at the hub, and then listen to Jerry talk about his new book for a while. It's going to be a really great early kickoff to the season.
Right, yeah. Anything happening to the trail system? Any improvements to the buildings? Any additional buildings that you've been doing?
Yeah. Well, if you haven't been out to Mount Telemark Village lately, highly suggest getting out there. Even while there's still a few leaves on the tree, I suggest getting out there if you can. But what they do have is a brand new bridge. So when you go into and you head towards the hub building, you're going to go under a bridge that you're like, I do not remember this being here last year, or even 3 months ago it wasn't there. But it's done now. It's a beautiful bridge, and what it's made for is for bikers, walkers. You don't have to cross a road anymore. You get to ski or roller ski or hike or bike over this bridge that goes over the parking lot area, the entrance to the parking lot, I should say. So you can check that out. It's a really great facility there. And then we actually just poured some concrete recently, and we're hoping it'll be done by spring for some new bathrooms up by Dirksen Great Hall. So Dirksen Great Hall, where all of our events take place, where the Birkey Start is, there's everyone may remember, there aren't exactly bathrooms there. Lots of porta potties.
Lots of porta potties.
But with this new bathroom infrastructure, we're actually now going to be able to not have as many porta potties and actually concrete nice spaces for our for using the commode. So it's going to be a nice spot for that. So it sounds like maybe not as glamorous, but when it's an event weekend, it's important to have some bathrooms.
When you have a few thousand people visiting, yes, everybody has to do something at some point. So,
and then you'll also see if you start skiing the Birkey Trail and you kind of head at the start line and start heading towards Cable, within a few hundred yards, you're going to run into our brand new biathlon range, biathlon venue, and it's not completed yet. It won't be completed till the spring. They're going to pour some concrete, but you'll see a big, they've leveled all the ground, and they pretty much have everything set now for it to kind of settle over the winter, let the ground settle a little bit. But that's all cut out, and you're going to be like, wow, this is a big swath of space. It's kind of over by the range that's right over there in Cable 2, kind of off of McNaught Road. So it's a beautiful space, a beautiful venue. We're really excited for next winter to be able to host some biathlon events there too. So lots of great infrastructure at Mount Telemark Village, always improving and always something new to come check out.
Right. Do you still have a need for volunteers at the Birkey?
I'm so glad you asked, Mark. Yes, we do. So Birkey.com/volunteer, or if you just go to Birkey.com, again, that's BIRKIE.com.
Yeah.
You'll see a link right on the homepage for volunteers. Always in need of volunteers. We need a small army of volunteers for Birkey Week to pull this thing off. And that's what's so great about the community is it brings everyone together. And we host the world here. And it's all thanks to the help of you and our volunteers. So thanks to the whole community for being so welcoming.
It's been great. Yeah. Well, thank you, Shawn, for coming in. We'll probably talk to you again come December and talk about what was December's event coming up.
Oh, we have Get You Gammy Games. That's coming up. Yeah. Yeah, it's a it's a youth ski competition, December 20th and 21st. And yeah, that's going to be a really great weekend as well. So we're looking forward to a great season. Hopefully next time we're talking, we'll be a few feet of snow on the ground.
I don't know about a few feet, but yes, I'm sure.
Here's hoping.
Yes. Shawn, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
For more information on the Turkey Birkey, you can go to Birkey.com, and right there on the front of their page on the left-hand side, you'll see a countdown for Turkey Birkey. You've been listening to WBZH Hayward Today, local report on mornings with Pat Kreitlow. To stay up to date with everything going on in the Hayward Lakes area, download the Civic Media app and click on WBZH in the radio station listings. Coming up after local news and information, Pat Kreitlow returns. I'm Mark Lundeen, and I'll be back with more Hayward area information tomorrow morning. It's 8:29.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.